Hello, Mr. Olawa. My name is Jorge Andres Tesada, and today I'm going to be talking about the Mafia, the start of a legacy that would change the world forever. To start off, in the origins. Sicily, a broken region. A famous Italian reporter once said that the reason why Sicily is ungovernable is that the inhabitants have been long ago learned to distrust and neutralize all written laws and to govern themselves in their own homemade fashion as if official institutions do not exist. Sicily has always been ruled by a foreign rule, such as the Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Vikings, Germans, and Spaniards. They have all claimed dominion over the island. For this fact, Sicilian people learned that their government is unstable and that they shouldn't trust the government. Exploiters in Sicily. The extreme security problems were a consequence of the people being anarchists. Many of these problems were reasoned because of terrible land distribution, modernization, the change to feudalism to capitalism, not enough policemen or soldiers. If you have a gun, you can control the land as there is nobody else that can tell you anything. And constantly changing the constitution, as meaning that many places such as Greece, Italians, Germans, etc., have always been fighting for the land. For this fact, the solution was to emigrate, and what better place to emigrate than the United States of America? Building a kingdom. Giuseppe Esposito was the first known Sicilian mafia member to emigrate to the US. He and 6 other Sicilians fled to New York after murdering a chancellor, a vice-chancellor, and 11 wealthy landowners. He moved to New Orleans. However, he was arrested by policeman David Hennessy in 1881 and was extradited to Italy. Keep this name in mind, David Hennessy. On October 15, 1890, New Orleans police superintendent and newly promoted to a policeman boss, David Hennessy, was murdered in execution style. Hundreds of Sicilians were arrested and 19 were eventually indicted for the murder. This was a major problem that the US had. Mafia members standing up against the police and executing them. This started a war between the mafia members, the government, and the police. The golden age of the Italian mafia. By the 1900s, the Italian mafia, along with many other mafias currently staying in the United States, were established as a stain in society. Mafias were only growing more and more big, as different methods such as extortions or black hands were created as a way to steal money and to create fear and terror. Jewish Mafia or Eastmen, Five Point Gang or the Irish Mafia, and La Cosa Nostra or the Italian Mafia quickly rose to power, and those 3 mafias battled for control over New York. These problems were only growing bigger and bigger and bigger as many mafias or gangs started to rise in the United States, especially in New York. Many other of these problems were corruption and rising to power, bribing government officials and policemen. Al Capone was an Italian-American leader of the Chicago Outfit Gang, obviously a gang based in Chicago. He became extremely powerful in the 1920s for illegally distributing or bootlegging alcohol during the age of Prohibition. He then started to bootleg throughout the entire nation. And after Mussolini took control of Italy, Millions of Italians emigrated to the US, and many of them found jobs in the mafia by helping to bootleg. This meant that many syndicates or small gangs quickly began to spread all over the United States, over every single state that was popular and demanded alcohol. The Castellammarese War. This war was a battle between the two biggest families in New York. Joe Masseria and Charles Lucky Luciano fought against Salvatore Maranzano. Eventually, Lucky Luciano kills his own boss and joins forces with Salvatore Maranzano, ends the war, and makes the biggest alliance in any family on April 15, 1931. This makes Salvatore Maranzano the most powerful American mafia boss. Now we go to our last slide, the most powerful mobster. Maranzano set up the Commission, or a governing body to rule the American Mafia. Maranzano was the triangle, and these 5 circles represent each family. These families were the Colombos, the Bonanos, the Gambinos, the Genovese, and the Lucchese. All of these families previously hated each other, but because of Lucky Luciano, these families created an alliance named as La Cosa Nostra, or Our Thing in English. All of these families agree to share power, and they create the Golden Ages, which were from the 1920s to the 1936 exactly.